this incredible experience together. So this is called the Intuition Money Breakthru. Why is it a breakthrough versus a challenge or whatever else? So I do want to quote unquote challenge you to do this work because money is a hugely emotional topic. I spent over 8 years, my first 8 years online, I've been online about 16 years, okay? Primarily teaching, working with people and helping them build, grow their businesses by going into the spirit of money, the essence of the idea of money, what you believe about money, your relationship with money, where it is embedded in your personal blueprint, your self-identity. You're worthy of it, you're not worthy of it, you have to work hard to get it, it's hard to keep, you're not good at managing it. Many of my clients over the years have been women who were told that women can't make money or they won't be able to attract a partner if they make money. And so the world around the concept of money is pretty thick. And it's often not something light workers want to talk about. People on their spiritual path, women, not always, but it tends to be a topic that maybe we get into and we work really hard. And then if it doesn't work, because I've made a lot of money and I've lost a lot of money and I've had businesses go explode and then close. And I've had all the ups and downs of experiences with money. And each time I thought the world was ending, I thought I was a horrible person, I thought I'd done everything wrong, and I thought everything I had done prior to that was a waste. However, if you've been on your spiritual path a while, you then get to a point where you realize, wow, that was like the best thing that ever happened to me. And I went through a divorce, took 3 years, lost everything, ended up in a bankruptcy. I owned 80 properties before that. I had investments like a lot of artwork and properties and so on. And I had a complete deconstruction of my life. Now, in the real world, in the conscious 3D world, let's call it, we are taught, conditioned, that if you succeed and make money, then, ooh, we're going to put you on a pedestal. But then we also have the rich, greedy people who manipulate people or, go to a country and kill everybody and take their stuff. And we're still seeing that. And so we see money as a motivator that's misused. We don't have a lot of good role models who are wealthy. You might be aware of somebody some industry expert or someone who built an empire a long time ago, and you have, whether you want to believe it or not, you have opinions, you have feelings, you have beliefs, you have programs, you have blocks within you. When I say your light body, I'm talking about your entire light structure. It's bigger than a mile wide. It's your mind, your emotions, your spiritual, it's your chakras, it's your vows, it's your contracts, it's your soul wounds. It connects all the way out through your rainbow light body and your pillar of light and all of these layers of your light structure, and they carry everything you need. So you're fully funded on this mission from your soul, and yet we weren't told that in the real world, were we? We weren't told that in the 3D world. We were taught one of many things. Now, you could come from a very wealthy family and have completely confusing and burdening feelings about money. So it's really important to realize that money and intuition have to go together, because money is an energy that brings power and resources. So if you need money to start a business and you're looking for $100,000, just making stuff up, you might go, I don't have it. I'm afraid to ask for it. Who would want to do that with me? How could I find it? And you might be excited about trying to find the answers. And maybe you're Googling, maybe you're talking to people, maybe you're making a plan, and maybe you're getting, you're writing down, well, how much is it to start a business? And then I would have to have a website, and you're just getting all the pieces together. That's fantastic. Then what stops you? What blocks you? Who will hire me? What if they don't like me? What if I ask for money? What if I raise my rates? What if I ask for a raise? What if I ask for money or help from my family? What if they criticize me, reject me, think I'm greedy and not a nice person? We're programmed to want to be liked. We want everyone to like us. We want everyone to be pleased and happy. And we were also programmed to please everyone else. I don't know if you've experienced this, but I have. Who do you think you are to be happy? Who do you think you are to have what you want? Everyone's suffering. You don't get to have that. You're too happy. You're too trusting. You're too abundant. You're too big. You're too whatever. So here's the interesting thing. If you have an inner feeling that more money would solve your problems and then everything would be perfect, and when you have all that money, or you have that paycheck, or you have that title on your office, or you have that spouse that makes money, or you have that inheritance, or you have whatever, then you will be willing to take care of yourself, or go to the gym, or do your spiritual work, or go to my dolphin retreat, or whatever it is, right? Then you'll let yourself have XYZ. Then you'll stop giving to everyone first. Then you might speak up and say, wow, I have a lot of dysfunctional relationships that are draining my resources. So I'm going to give you a little bit more in depth about what we're going to talk about over the next 4 days and in the Money Intuition course starting February 4th, because this is an incredibly deep, emotional, and historical topic. I could tell you statistics for about an hour that I learned. My first course online was called The Spirit of Money. And I'm very fortunate because I was like, at that point, what is up? I keep making money. My first business was fashion design. And I went to school and I graduated, I moved to LA and I worked for a couple people and I started my own business, and it exploded the first year. I was in magazines. I was starting to get into catalogs, some department stores. I was selling across the country, and we did about $1 million in sales the first year. 3.5 years later, the end of the 80s, the economy crashed. All the department stores declared bankruptcy. Nobody paid me. And I think I got $4,000 from one of the department stores that owed me hundreds of thousands of dollars over 4 years or something ridiculous. So I had no backup. I didn't know enough about money. I was in my 20s. I was following my passion and doing my thing, okay? And I was learning in the field. Let's put it that way. My dad would say the hard way, but I like it. I learned in the field. So I was there and I was doing it, and I had become an expert in that field, and I knew people and I had my resources, and that was what I went to school for. And when I had to close my business, I did not have to declare bankruptcy then. That wasn't until many years later during my divorce. However, that was an experience that was what I call my first deconstruction that I was aware of, because everything I believed, everything I was taught, my parents, my family, work hard, work even harder, keep working hard and suffer, then you're almost going to be a good person. Just that value of hard work. I have nothing against that. But when it's out of balance, it's not good, because you become a workaholic, okay? And then you think that you're always going to, when you get that one more project or client or speaking gig or whatever it is you want, that's going to be the thing that solves everything. And I've had clients who we've worked with their inner beliefs around money, and then their self-identity, and their ability to speak about money with clients, and their ability to shift into a sacred space instead of a fear place or a guilty place. I was going through my divorce and my bankruptcy. I had no idea how I was going to pay for anything. I had $10 to spend on groceries. I wasn't buying toothpaste. We were just brushing our teeth with brushes, which the dentist actually said was fine. But, I was sweating in bed. I literally would wake up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night and come back to the bed and have to lay a towel down because my sheets were soaking wet. I was so full of fear. I had been disowned from my family. I had no backup. I had no clue what I was going to do. And I was getting on a phone call with a potential client. Do you think that I'm in a desperate state? Yes. So here's the value of intuition and energy work and waking up to your spiritual structure, because when you try to make money, when you try to buy a home, when you try to find what's my happiness, we're talking about money. We are talking about money. And I use that word to poke everybody, because I found over the years of all of my study of money and poverty and what makes people repel money, even if they worked really hard for it, and why are we taking all this action and only seeing minimal results, or getting a lot and then it's all going away. And the answer is you got to go into your soul blueprint. You have to go out of the perceived, this is what you have to do to make money. If you were programmed that you have to work hard, you have to stay at that same company, you don't ask for a raise, or you were programmed hop companies, or you were told go start your own business, but you saw your parents have a business and they were always suffering, right? So everyone has a different money story. Plus you bring stuff from your soul, big ones, okay? Big other lives, money karma, we're going to call it. So money is all these different things. What happens when all of your beliefs come to a nexus point in your soul's path? Kaboom. Okay, deconstruction. Maybe you go through a divorce or a bankruptcy, maybe your business closes. It doesn't mean what you think it means, but it is a soul's path, a soul's way of guiding us. It's very clear to me now, as much as I loved fashion design and I was very good at it, and the business had the potential to thrive, it was definitely not my path. It was like smackdown, and then go look for something completely different. I had no spiritual or religious upbringing, so I had to go, well, what the hell's out there? What's meditation? And this was pre-internet, of course. This was 30 some years ago. So on your path, you can look at your life and you will see your money story. You'll see the ups and downs about how you felt about yourself. I felt good. I felt worthy. I took this class. I got a A. I'm the valedictorian or whatever. I went out. I got the best. I got every job I ever interviewed for. And then I became a mom. And then I didn't work for a while. And then I started to feel really like I couldn't even ask to go do anything for myself, because my spouse was like, you don't make money, I make money. And then I decided to go make my own money, because I was tired of being limited and not having freedom to do things I needed for myself or for my kids. And then I thought, but who am I? I don't have any qualifications anymore. I haven't worked in 10 years. And then I, okay? So those are examples of real life, me and other clients, right? These are real life things that happen. And all of these color your personal identity around your value, your worth, what you're worth in terms of a partner. You know, do you deserve the partner that is absolutely perfect for you? Or do you think, well, I probably have to settle because this part of me isn't perfect and that part of me isn't this, and I'm not this and I'm not that? Think about the fact that women were given away with money, dowry. So when you historically look at the relationship and the stories, we go to war. We want other people's stuff. We're willing to lie, cheat, steal, kill, disown, dismember, behead, and pretty much everything else you can think of, over something of value, something we perceive of value, okay? So money is an energetic current that opens resources and pathways to your mission, your project, whatever it is you're currently looking at. I want to go on the dolphin retreat with Naya and Akasha in March. Yay, let's do it. Well, how do I do that? I don't know. Well, I'm going to write down that I'm doing it. I'm going to think about being there, and I'm going to let the universe and my higher self and my intuitive team show me where the money's going to come from. However, great. I hope you're living like that. This sounds great. If this is optimal for me, I'm opening a space to be shown the way, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to pay attention to synchronicities, and I'm going to find my courage, and I'm going to ask this and do this and so on. That's required in anything you do. So if you're of the spiritual thing, money's not spiritual and I shouldn't charge for my healing, you need to grow up, because you live in a 3D body. Otherwise, you would have chosen a different form. However, you're also a spiritual self. You also have a mental body. It's full of beliefs and mindsets, full of lack and worthiness, and I'm good enough and I'm not good enough and there is enough, and if I ask for more, then other people won't like me, or I'm taking away from the little lady down the street. You are never, ever, 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 ever taking away from anybody when you receive money. However, that's another thing we have. So I have seen the most interesting money stories over the decades that I've done this, because I was always looking, well, why am I making money and then losing all the money? And then I had the experience with the debt, because I lived with the debt. So I lived off of my credit cards while I was building my fashion design company, just channeling everything back into it. So then there's that money management and the fear of debt and wanting debt. If you want to buy a home, you are hoping with every part of your being and visualizing and imagining yourself in that house with your kids, waking up. Oh my God, it's going to be so amazing. I love this house. I want this house. I got the loan. And a year later, you're writing the loan payment and you're like, I hate this. This debt is killing me. Debt is evil. You see how we take and infect, basically, the energy that is simply pure power resources to fund your fully funded soul's mission. So I want to encourage you and inspire you over the next 4 days to realize that if you have been afraid of money, yearning for money, craving money, judging yourself or others around money, feeling shame, guilt, safe, not safe, craving safety around money, around your income, around your business, around your home, around anything you perceive of value in your home, and this is as much about you. This is about spiritual and material riches, because I can promise you, having a lot of money doesn't guarantee anything. It could disappear overnight. What if it's all Bitcoin? Bye. Someone makes a law, it's all gone, right? It's just an example. What if it's stocks and it drops like it has this last year, and now you're, a third of the value you had before? So it's not that any of those are good or bad. It's the energy of money, the spirit of money, the essence of money in the etheric concept. How do you relate to it? Do you feel worthy of it? Are you willing to ask for it? Do you have an internal wealth limit? I used to call it your wealth vibe or your wealth thermostat or something. That used to be a very popular conversation back when I was talking about this. I coined the term wealth esteem because I kept seeing the energy when I was doing private sessions. I can see energy, and I was seeing the energy in people's fields. When they would talk about money, I would see like these shackles or this web around them. It shows up different for everybody, but then it was intricately entangled with their self-esteem, their self-love, their self-worth, their self-value, and everything that comes along with that. Now, if you don't think that your life has been created through your self-identity, take a look. It can be a little bit harsh and shocking, but from the car, the house, the partner, the job, the clothes, and everything you have chosen in your life, even if you don't think you chose it, you're like, this is all I can afford. I don't like it. I want something else. That feeling of lack, that feeling of it being far away from you, that feeling that you're being punished or that you're not good enough or that you have to do certain thing or pay your dues, okay? Just keep looking at how much of this stuff is in our consciousness. Who are you to think you deserve? The world doesn't revolve around you. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So what does that mean? That means we're going to give you something delicious. Here's some money. Go do whatever you want with it. Use it to free your soul. Use it to go to a mountaintop with a shaman or with nature spirits. Use it to go to the depths of the ocean with the dolphins. Use it to do something that opens and inspires your soul and activates your intuition so you start listening within and not to the massive amount of noise around us now. Information used to be very valued. It used to be the currency. Now it's everywhere. Information, misinformation, opinions and arguments, and it's just nonstop. So if someone gave you money and said, go do something for your soul, would you take it? Would you feel guilty about receiving money without working hard or giving back? Would you do something for yourself, or would you say, oh, no, I need to pay the bills, or I need to save it for my kids, or I shouldn't spend it on myself? All right. So I'm just giving you a lot of different perspectives to ping inside of you. So it's lovely when we say, I don't want to worry about money. I had a client actually, and I thought this was such a phenomenal breakthrough. And difficult relationship with money, in a relationship where they don't make any money, the partner makes all the money and is kind of controlling, not really bad, but have to ask, and no sense of real freedom, because they have to ask to get what they want. And it's often granted, but it's that resistance there. I have to ask. Well, what is that? That's a child. A child in our culture has no money, has no power. You can't say, all right, Mom, let's go to the store. I'm buying that ballerina doll. It's time. No, we're not going to the store. That's not my plan. You don't have any money. You don't get to have what you want. Who are you? And whatever else, okay? So this comes with all the stuff you brought from your soul, your karma. And it's going like this with your value. Maybe you've had times in life where you're like, woo, I feel so good. I feel so alive. I feel so walking tall and strong, and you strut in there and you get the job and everything's flowing and it's wonderful. And then sometimes you're like in fear. Oh, that project or that job or that commission or that client canceled. And I used to have that. Oh, it was so defeating and depleting. I was in a state where I desperately needed money, and I was in a state that I had to provide for my family. It wasn't something where I could just go into shame and wallow and not care about myself. I had people to take care of, and I didn't have an option of wallowing in the self-fear and pity for very long, even though it was pretty thick, right? During my divorce, and lost everything, and then no credit because I went through bankruptcy and so on and so forth. So what happens then? Well, my soul made dang sure that I had no resources. Being disowned and losing everything I had, savings, stocks, homes, art, whatever, all right? And losing all the credit, and I had a shit ton of credit too, all of that, okay? Standing there feeling completely alone is the most empowering opportunity. It's like being stripped naked and sent on a vision quest. You discover deeper and deeper parts of you. You realize that the entire story you're living is not an empowering story. And now we know we were completing a lot of old patterns this particular life. So now I can say, if I hadn't gone through what I went through, I could have made other choices along the way that maybe would have made it easier. But we're obsessed with, why isn't it easy? Why isn't it done? Why isn't it here? All that's doing is distracting you from what is here. And if you want to hear your intuition, then you dang well better develop it. Because just hoping one day that your higher self will start talking to you and appear in the room might happen, but rarely does. However, in the Intuition Awakening courses the last 2 years, the stunning shift that's happening, the work that I do is so deep that it always goes to all levels of you. It's working multidimensionally. It's working with your soul, your higher self, for your highest good. It's aligning with your soul path. It's finding ways to disconnect you from disempowering beliefs, mindsets, vows, contracts, connections. It's always working to cleanse and clear you and realign you with your soul's signature frequency. So that's the potential. But most people do not reach their soul's potential in a lifetime. It doesn't mean they failed. It's just their choice. And you can say, well, but I didn't know if I would have stopped being mad at my ex that it would have meant my whole life opened up and I lived this happy, joyful, healthy, abundant life with the most amazing people. Well, no, nobody's going to tell you that because you have free will. But if you're talking to your intuition, if your higher self is a normal part of your day, like with me and my students, if your connection and your intuitive skills and your clairaudience and clairsentience, you're feeling things and you're starting to know what it means and you're seeing more visions. And so many people come to me that say, I don't see visions and I don't get pictures and I don't hear words. And they start. And you don't have to. Everybody feels, sees, receives communication and light languages in different ways. The key is, are you waking up to it? And where is this heavily emotionalized topic clogging and blocking your ability to see the opportunities that are here, to see that you're already rich, that you're already abundant, that you have to let go of all the ego desires that are making you desperate and master your mind, then master your emotions, master your energy. What's the easiest way to do that? Oh, I got to work hard. I got to become a master. I have to climb the hill. No, you can rewire how money comes to you. It comes to many, many directions, not just from a paycheck and that's all I can think, or not just by asking so-and-so to give me money, right? Or find another job. These are not the only places that abundance comes to you. Opportunities come to you. So the intuitive clogs and limitations means you're missing the synchronicities. You may not be seeing the guidance. You may be misinterpreting the guidance, but I can promise you with all of my heart that every moment of every day you have an amazing team energetically, spiritually within and around and working with you for your highest good and what's optimal right now. Does that mean that tomorrow you wake up and you're a bazillionaire? No, that isn't what's optimal for you, because you know what will happen? You'll explode. You'll lose it all because you have no strength energetically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to manage that kind of power. Money is power. We see people use it for powerful things, sometimes for good, usually for their own selfish means, and often in a generous way. Now, what you do with the energy of money, what you think of it, whether you believe you're worthy of it, how you connect to it, where are you allowing your higher self, your body elemental, all the senses in you? You have 360 senses. Where are you clogged from seeing? One of the most powerful experiences I've had was going through all of these different businesses and spiritual experiences that were pushing me to the limit. And I was constantly like dying to one version of myself and being born to another one. And the more I understood about my soul blueprint, like my zodiac makeup or my astrological makeup or my missions or the past and future lives that I came to be connected with, to both share wounds and complete them and then share powers. This lady does this amazing scientific palm reading and told me that I'm designed to both make money for myself and for others. And I saw that. I did a lot of business coaching. The first person to call me the fairy godmother said, you're the fairy godmother of money, because she came to work with her beliefs and her energy around money and her business. And things changed around and all kinds of magical, wonderful things happened very quickly. And so everything we're talking about is energy. It isn't going out and working 40,000 hours. Yes, you can't just sit on the couch. You have to do some movement, some action. You have to create a value exchange, okay? However, the way you think you have to do it, and that you have to suffer or do a job you hate, or that you have to please people by not being who you are so that they give you money, or that they might give you money if you're in trouble, start to realize that you're carrying all this around and it's not leading to the most abundant future for you. So no matter what you're doing every day, I hope that you're awakening your intuition. You're activating your light body. You're learning to sense, direct, and read and communicate with energy, because your energy, everything is energy. It's talking all the time. And there is so much help. There's so many paths. So one of the most interesting experiences I've ever had was when I got into real estate investing, and that was very difficult because I was taught you don't ask people about money, and I had to ask very intimate questions and so on. So that really pushed me. I dealt with large sums of money. I made a lot of money in the end because of the divorce. I lost some money, but it was really the ability to think, to get concepts and energy connections to those amounts of money. Then everything fell apart in my divorce. I met Chris, my soulmate, who I'm with now. He got me online because that's what he did, and this was like 17 years ago. And and what happened is I started to do spiritual work online. And then I started to, I met Joe Vitale and started to hang out with people in that realm and the law of attraction and all of this stuff. And I was getting featured on shows, and I was slowly growing my list. And I started to grow, and I needed to learn how to talk to people. And I needed to know how to connect to potential clients. And I personally hated the idea of sales, and I hated the idea of telling people, look, I'm great, you should hire me, here's how much money, give me your credit card. It just, the whole thing was so awkward, so horrifying. Everything within me that had been programmed was, don't think you're great, but be really good, but be the best. And, all of this stuff around asking, oh my gosh. So to move through that is a mystery experience. This is a personal self-realization experience that you're programmed with a false identity that can't ask for what you want, can't share your wealth and wisdom, can't find the people who can benefit from you and find the people that you can benefit from and exchange value in the form of money. That there's more than enough to fund as things unfold, that you don't need to feel desperate and afraid, that when you're in the moment, what you want and need changes because there's a more opulent, abundant, and rich field that you are attuned to, the infinite field. So conversations, I just was giving you the example of when you feel desperate and if you are having a money fear going on here and you're talking even on the phone to a potential client and they have money fears because they want to hire you and they know you're going to say something and they know they're going to have to decide to spend money and they're afraid, but somehow they've been pushed into that situation, so they just need an answer. And those energies are talking to each other. Your money story is talking to their money story while you're up here going, well, it's a delightful program where you'll learn how to do X, Y, and Z, right? And so you're doing your very best to be composed up here. And yet, and of course you have to start here, and yet all through your energy field is the second guessing is, oh my God, they just told you that they lost their job. You can't possibly ask them for money or tell them to hire you. And the mind's over here, they don't do it. And what about that? And you're over here trying to remember how to be present and how to find out what they really need. And am I really the optimal person for this person? Oh my God. I eventually created a course called Sacred Sales because the whole conversation, the whole thing was so stressful, and it had to come down to sacred to me. It had to come down to spiritual. It had to come down to, is this optimal for me and for them, for the highest good at this time? And then you start to be able to free yourself from this money prison, this fear. So just realize that underneath here, you learn to master your emotions. And it's not by denying and suppressing them, but it's about accepting these parts of you that have come from other lives, that have past life fears and horrible life fears. So someone told me that they go to events and they leave with clients, and they, not being a speaker, because I did a lot of stage speaking and then people would hire me. But they went in and they would go to huge events, conferences, or small events, and they would just go in with a certain perspective. And they would have what I would call the knowing and the acceptance. I am here. My ideal client is here. How I'm ready and willing to meet, right? To vibe, to pick each other up. And what happened for me was quite stunning because I thought that's a great idea, but it sounds good, too good to be true. I worked through a lot of pains and fears and beliefs, and then I started to do it. And it became natural. I literally would go to an event, and I got on the airport shuttle from the airport to the hotel, and they stopped at 3 terminals in LA or something. And more people from the event were getting on from different airlines. And there was a group of people, we started chatting and we were just talking, and somebody said, "What do you do?" And I said what I did. And by the time we got to the hotel, a lady had hired me. I sat at lunch one seat over from a big table, randoms people at this event, hadn't met many people. Somebody said, "What do you do?" I was telling them about my energy work and my hypnosis work and my inner work and my money intuition work. And the lady on the other side of him, who wasn't even part of the conversation, leans over and says, "I need to talk to you later," and became one of my clients for several years. I am telling you that I used to sit with my clients on the phone and say, "Okay, there's a client for you, don't leave the room," or "There's money for you, don't leave the room." And they had to go through the energetic and intuitive fears and blocks and pains and desires to find their way to the clue. There's always a clue. There's always a clue, okay? Your intuition is always ready. Even if you're buried in a deep cave, you may have to keep walking through the dark to get out of that cave, but you can follow your intuition. So there's so many reasons why light workers, healers, intuitives, psychics, therapists, everyone in the field, everyone, parents, but everyone in the field of, if you work with others in any way, okay, this is so powerful, because when you do not identify with being fully funded and relaxed, because whatever you need will always be there, and you're intuitively following the guidance, and you're going, "Wow, this is great, my bank account's really big, oh, my bank account went down," but you're always feeling that. That's real security. That's financial freedom. And I want you to find your inner path, because no authority outside of you is ever going to know what's optimal for you. And so if you want to do one particular business, but your family says don't, if your family taught you, or you have some programming that said, "I must have a responsible job, like be an accountant versus be a massage therapist," or whatever, I don't know. And it isn't that you have to do a spiritual job, okay? Not at all. That is an area where so much poverty consciousness, that and musicians and artists, and because there's been a devalue in the collective mindset of the value of that person, okay? So let's look at, where is it? Here we go. And we're going to screen. Oh, I think I pushed the wrong one. There we go, screen. And so I want you to relax in. This one is going to be about an hour, but the next three are going to be less than 30 minutes. And the reason is that we're going to go into a topic. We're going to go into a couple of illustrations so you can really embed this. And then we're going to have a process or a guided intuitive awakening around that topic for you over the next 4 days. So this is Money Intuition Breakthru. It's 100% free, and it's here on my YouTube channel. So please subscribe and hit notifications so you know when we're doing fun things. And I do spiritual weather report every week. I do multidimensional meditation every week, and I have guests on, and we're going to be having a one-day gathering around Intuition Playground coming up soon. So be sure you check out all of that. So this breakthrough is about reclaiming your money intuition and getting freedom from lack, increased guidance, and boosting your self-worth. You're going to be amazed as you uncover the depth of your dormant intuitive powers around wealth, worthiness, and opportunity. So when you clear and activate your intuitive and psychic network and reawaken your trust of your inner wisdom to guide you on your soul's path of happiness, self-love, wealth, riches, and all kinds, you become aligned with the intuitive guidance that is always going to make sure you have the money you need, you have the resources you need, you have the time you need, you have the support you need, you have the clarity you need, Okay, money doesn't just mean money, and we are looking at that concept. However, people tend to get really emotional and desperate around money. I didn't get money today, so this sucks. And there's one of the reasons you don't have a freedom around the idea of money. So here's our topics over the next 4 days. These are also in the Money Intuition class. So today we're looking at money intuition poison, the idea of money karma, and how past and future life wounds and powers affect your ability to make money, get jobs, ask for money, get raises, grow money, spend money, feel worthy of money, and so on. Tomorrow we're going to look at money intuition blocks and your money identity, and freeing you from money shame, money guilt, money fear. Okay, this identity and is needed to dissolve so you can embody the wealthy you, the imprint of an inner belief system that says, oh, I have a business and my senior partner with business is source, and source is infinite, and my higher self is in charge of being the guide. And I have regular meetings with that part of me, okay? Day 3 is going to be in the Money Intuition Secret, what we're calling it. And this is, you're already rich. You're on a fully funded mission, okay? And you can align with and receive the money or the abundant soul-aligned opportunities that are optimal for you. You don't always need money. I don't have time to teach you everything I know about money, money energy, money spirit of money. So that's why I highly recommend you join my class. My older classes are no good anymore. The quality of the recordings we had way back then do not transfer. So we're in a new world also. And finally, in the intuition awakening, it's a lot of active participation. So meaning that you don't have to worry about being embarrassed or being put on the spot or anything like that. However, you're going to learn how to see and communicate with your different intuitive pathways, find the blocks to them. You're going to go into these and have an intuitive activation and practice, okay, around these topics, plus more. There's 7 classes. Okay, and so we're going to go into day 4. I'm going to do a few money intuition scans and increase your wealth esteem, open you to more guidance, align you with nonstop synchronicities and guides. Okay, so remember that money intuition is really powerful. Spirit has guided me. I haven't taught a lot on the idea of money for a while because it tends to stir up so much fear, and I want people to get empowered from within. But it's time to talk about it and take it off the table as one of your biggest blocks. If you get emotional about it, if you hate it, then you know something's going on. So there was a client who, hang on one second here. There was a client who was doing the work with me early on in this department, and this client was doing a process, an audio process that I was had given, and she was very committed to this. Her husband worked 2 jobs. She really saw him. She had little kids. She worked really hard at home, and she felt alone all the time, and she was really fed up with never having enough. Always, there's never enough. There's never enough money. There's never enough money. So she was getting super irritated, and when you start getting irritated and start going, this is stupid, this is never going to work, or something like that, you're near a breakthrough, so stick with it. And so she decided, well, I'm not going to stop doing this, but I can't sit here, I can't lay down anymore. So she took the audio with her, and she went and washed dishes. And while she was washing the dishes, she's just brewing and stewing, and she's still listening to this meditation that's supposed to be rebooting her inner money machine, you know, bringing abundance from the universe, reconnecting her to the universal flow, realizing money comes through people, not from people, and these kinds of things. And bam, she had a huge breakthrough, just massive. And she started screaming and crying, and she realized she hated money. She blamed money. Money was like a person. It was like her prison guard. It was like making her husband have to work so she never saw him, making her have to, you know, suffer and feel like she couldn't be the mom she wanted to be, and all these different things. And so all of that anger was inside of her, blocking her from money. Because if you hate something with that kind of passion, if you blame it, if you put shame and blame onto the concept of money, do you think it's going to want to come anywhere near you? Hell no. And if it does, what's going to happen? Are you going to have a harmonious relationship? Are you going to say, oh, thank you for coming. Now I really believe you're reliable and trustworthy and you're always there and that you'll be here. And now I'm going to feel free to let go of my limiting mindsets about it and my desperate plans that it has to happen and I have to see the money before I make the choice to trust you. And all of those things are going to fall away. All right. So you have to have a breakdown. This is why this is called a breakthrough, okay, that we're doing. So go to the shop.nanakasha.com. You'll see the money intuition there. We have a lot of different payment plans for you. We've lowered the price dramatically just until the 28th. We start on the 4th. And what I want you to realize is that you're going to start out, you're going to get awakening your 360 senses. You're going to get money, success, mind, and belief rewiring audio, and you're going to get the shame cleanse. These are audios that you can, and videos you can start working with instantly to increase your intuitive senses, okay, rewire your belief system around money and success, and cleanse yourself from shame, one of the number one energies attached to the idea of money. Okay, here's if you go to this page, you're going to see the dates and you're going to see the topics. And that's what I want to just show you. So the topics are going to be similar to a few of the ones we're doing here. There's going to be the money karma, where we go into past life wounds and powers, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. We're going to go into your money identity and the blocks that you have, free you from the shame, guilt, fear, so you can embody the wealthy you. Okay, that new identity. You have to clear and have an intuitive identity that you start to build a relationship with that talks to your higher self, that is in touch with your soul blueprint, which in your Akashic records, which knows the powers you have, the wounds you had, what's causing whatever's happening right now. What if, something big happens in your source of income, your business, or your job? The automatic thing, because it's a change, is to think it's bad. And yet, if you could connect to your intuition and your soul path and listen to your higher self and say, wow, what are you guys doing up there? Did I misread something? Or is this for my highest good? And then you just listen and you trust and you can get that guidance. Like, well, look, I'm going to go back and do this again. No, we're trying to get you away from that so you can see something and it's already here waiting for you. You have a partner, you have a client, you have an opportunity, you have some publicity, you have something over here. However, you're not seeing it because you're stuck on the way you've been doing it. So we had to take that away from you so you can sit up, clear, and be liberated from that. Maybe you go back and you start making more money. Maybe you replenish your bank account after a bankruptcy. Maybe you rebuild your credit. Maybe it takes a long time. Maybe it doesn't. It doesn't matter. The point is to live in the flow now. So the next thing is going to be your money intuition power, where we're going to look in the beliefs, discover and transmute the limits into flow. Okay, and these are very carefully chosen words, so I don't want to spend a lot of time. However, contact me, take a look here, see what you think, and let us know if there's any questions you have. But we're going to identify limiting and lack beliefs around your self-worth, your value, asking for money, all the things we've been talking about, and co-create that new wealth esteem mental map. All right, we're going to raise the ceiling on your wealth thermostat, is what I used to call it. What's a thermostat? Well, you set it at 68 and it maintains that temperature. So if you're always in struggle, if you're always just have enough, if you make more than enough but you spend too much so you always feel like you don't have enough, or if you have a lot but you feel like you don't have enough and you're always in fear. There's all different levels of being, and you can set your wealth thermostat that will then automatically, through your intuitive network, start to create balance, notify you when there's an opportunity you should pay attention to, right? Align you with just the right time to open your email or look out the window or walk over to the coffee shop. opportunity and information is coming to you from everything. And believe me, your higher self is trying very hard to communicate with you about things that will help. Money is designed for a value exchange. So for you, if you want to give your services, your wisdom, your knowledge, your products, your artwork, your music, your love, whatever it is, okay, as in exchange for value, then our way of doing that most of the time right now is through money. However, during my bankruptcy, divorce, disaster, I needed to go to the beach so bad. It was several hours away, and I didn't even have the money for gas. So I started saying, I need the money to go to the beach. I need money to go to the beach. I need money to go to the beach. And that was my big breakthrough when I realized I'm putting money between me and what I want. So stop doing that. I'm going to give you that tip right now. Look where you're putting money between you and what you want. Let's take the dolphin retreat in March again. I want to go to that dolphin retreat. I want to go to those Mayan pyramids. I want to see that cacao ceremony. I want to experience this. But I need to see the money first. I need to make the money myself. I shouldn't spend the money. I shouldn't put the money on a credit card. Whatever it is. When I see the money, then I'll sign up. Well, the universe fills an empty vacuum that's open and receptive. So if you say, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but here's my open chalice. I am opening myself up, and let that money come pouring in for whatever it is. Okay. I'm just using my particular retreat as an example, but you have things you want. Right? And so now that chalice is open and receptive, and now you start getting ideas and places and people, and suddenly somebody buys your program or gives you a raise or offers you some extra work or whatever. And if somebody says, I have so many people who come on retreats who are given the money as a gift, and then they hit their fear and their judgment around receiving money. That's not worthy of receiving money. I'm not worthy of receiving money. I didn't work for that money. I shouldn't take that money. Oh my goodness. Guess what? That's part of their healing. You don't feel called towards anything in your life that isn't going to create a healing, right? A wholeness, a realignment of your wholeness. This is about you empowering yourself to be your own inner authority, to go to your intuitive place, whether you don't see the money or you do see the money. But you have to go through these processes so that you can free yourself from the desperation and the mindset that says, I have to see the money first. I can't trust myself. It won't happen. So-and-so will be mad at me, or whatever else is there. So the money beliefs that we're going to talk about in Intuition Power, your beliefs are your power. They are your filter. They intuitively tell you what to see and what not to see, because I can tell you right now, if you're looking for clients, you're probably sitting next to one right now. You probably saw one earlier. You could probably open a magazine and see something where you would find clients. That's how I don't even know, abundant the guidance is, okay? We're going to do money intuition secrets about what I shared, that you're already rich. You're already here on a fully funded mission, and how to align to that. Some of these examples I've been sharing with you, finding stuff in the moment. Intuition guards, guardians, and guides. This is a really, really fascinating way of looking at the energy that this is going to help you navigate your intuitive network. Apparently I deleted something there. From dark guards to aligning with guardians, and guides. So we do have dark guards within us. That's the parts of us that say it's not safe to have money because they'll kill you. Like one of my clients who had a past life where she went and realized that she was wealthy, and she was imprisoned for no reason, and she was beheaded, and they just wanted her money and her stuff. So she died saying, money equals killing. I never want any. And then she struggled in this life because of that. So that's what I'm talking about. You have past lives, you have other experiences in your life. They're not technically past, they all exist, but we calling them past lives makes it easier. Okay. And you've got future lives. You've got the fear of the you dying in the gutter alone, strung out on drugs, or in a prison because no one loves you and you lost everything, and you were humiliated, and so on and so forth. Okay. So there's those fears of the future you that's full of lack or pain. And there's the fear of the past experiences that then embedded these beliefs within you. We're going to look at the scans I told you about, wealth, esteem, and guidance. And then we're going to have our money intuition treasury, accessing your inner soul's treasure house of infinity. And this is how you consistently and constantly go back and reconnect. Now, the cool thing about these classes is that you get tools. You will be able to repeat the activations, the meditations. You're going to have processes to do to understand what you're uncovering that's coming up around this topic, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't need that. I feel very abundant. I'm fine. And that's great. I'm not telling you you have to have it. I am telling you that there's way more around this topic that's sitting on your intuitive pathways, and intuition and awakening is essential for everybody right now. There's too much of that information everywhere. Your own inner guidance, the only truth. And because you were not taught how to use your intuition, you were not taught how powerful it is, you were convinced not to trust it, you're here now to live your happiest, richest, most fulfilling, aligned soul purpose life. We need you to do that. So we're going to discover those secret energetic restrictions, the soul contracts, the blocks, the outdated mindsets that you have to open your intuitive pathways. This is not something that you can go to the doctor and take a pill for or get an x-ray for. We have to do the intuitive energetic x-ray. We have to do the scans, the intuitive scans, and the witnessing, and these processes that I teach you. So beliefs crystallize into energy. Okay, through your mind, through your beliefs. Money's hard to get, money's hard to hold on to, right? Oh, I don't want to ask for money. Oh, I feel sick to my stomach when I have money. Oh, my marriage ended because of money. It's the number one cause of divorce, okay? And all relationship breakups, especially in business. And then maybe you have a self-identity around money, that you're only worth a certain amount, or you don't have enough experiences, or you're not really all that smart, or whatever else is the story. Okay, this is what we're looking to free you from, because they block you from seeing your potential. There are potential clients, there's potential jobs, there's potential opportunities, there's things. I never thought about real estate investing. And I made a lot of money, and then I got divorced and lost a lot of money, and I owned a lot of property, but it was a phenomenal experience. And more than anything else, it was the biggest spiritual growth you could imagine over about 8 to 10 years. And so when I would drive around saying, I need a deal, I need a house, I need to buy a house that's a good deal that I can fix up and then I can sell. And I would just start driving neighborhoods. That's intuitive connection. I would look around and say, I could imagine buying that house and fixing it up. Oh, I could imagine buying that house. And I started to stir the energy. I went to my intuitive. I went to my higher self. I started to say, I don't have the money to buy a house. So how do I start a business on a business where I don't have the money to buy houses? Well, I learned the tools. I went to school. And then I went out and I said, I'm going to listen to the intuitive guidance. I'm going to find the deals, I'm going to find the houses, and then you're going to lead me to the person with the money, and then you're going to lead me to the person that helped me fix it up, and then you're going to lead me to the person who wants to buy it, and all of that has to happen energetically. If I'm not feeling worthy, then I might find the house, but then maybe I'll have bad experiences with my contractors and lose money on the deal overall. Or I might see the opportunity, but I hesitate, I doubt, I'm not willing to ask, who would like to partner with me on this or fund this. Okay, so that's just an example in that business. Try to relate this to your life. These are very real experiences that I'm giving you to twig within you the things that have held you back. All right, so I want you to clear the blocks so that you can get to the gifts that are living in your light body. All right, so outdated mindsets and intuitive blocks, fears, karmic knots, soul blueprints. You carry these in your chakras. You carry these in your cells. You carry them in your mind and your beliefs. You carry them in your emotional field. You carry them in your spiritual field. You carry them in your relationships. You carry your beliefs around money, your self-worth, and all of that all the way out into, of course, your relationship with money and value on all levels. So I had a client once who, when she came to me, told me, I was very abundant. I used to feel abundant. I felt loved by the universe. I danced and skipped through my life, and I married the love of my life. He became very wealthy and we had a beautiful life. I had everything I needed. And then suddenly guilt began to come over me. Now, of course, there was a soul trigger. There was an experience in her life, and I'm not going to go into that, but something happened in her life, and she lost that connection. She lost the flow. She started to feel fear about money. She started to feel like she had too much. She should feel guilty that she has a lot and others don't have anything. She started to doubt herself and her worthiness. And then she started to say, people who said, oh, you have a beautiful home. Oh, I know. I really don't need much. I don't need much. I don't need much. And then when she came to me, she said, I, for years, said I don't need much. And the universe responded by taking everything away from me. And now I don't have much. Believe me, there's more than meets the eye. So if you have a resistance to this topic, there's probably a reason that would be wonderful for you to free yourself from. This is not a quick get rich quick scheme. This is not you might manifest money tomorrow. You might manifest money this afternoon. You might learn new tools in 2 years, have the perfect bank account. I don't know how it's going to unfold for you, but I know that you can't feel your full worthy self. And you can't handle the depth of the fear in your past and future lives that are afraid of money, because it'll make you greedy or selfish, that you were killed for it, it was taken from you. So we're looking for these restrictions and mindsets around making money, having money, growing money, spending money, saving money, asking for money in any way, shape, or form, even for fundraising or raising a raise or in business or from your partner or whatever, borrowing money, receiving money, debt and credit, and even more things. Money in this class and in today for the next few days represents all forms of worth and value, but I am giving you a very specific examples around the actual cash. Just take in mind that you have the same fears and beliefs around money in the form of cash, a paycheck, cash flow, alimony, dividends, bonuses, bank accounts, savings bonds, Social Security payments. I used to be terrified to open up my online bank account and look at it because it was always negative during my divorce. And I became so full of fear when I would open it up that actual screen, like the computer, it caused fear in me. And that's when I realized I can't open up my bank account in terror and panic, expecting. I have to start to create a sacred space, create a sacred moment to look at my finances, go within and fill myself full of love and acceptance, change the relationship, the energy, and the state or the dimension that I'm in when I am looking at spending, deciding anything to do with that. Excuse me for a minute. Excuse me. Money in this class means, woo, ooh, I'm excited. I'm having a release. It comes on my throat, goes up the back of my nose. It feels really wild. My whole crown chakra and my inner eye explode. And in the future class that we're doing right now, co-creating with your future self, we activated the inner crystal cave, the cave of Brahma, the inner part of the inner eye. Woo! And I've been having a lot of expansion since that crystallization process. Okay, so we also mean, when we say money, we mean in the form of investments, stock, silver, gold, real estate, and so on. We also, when we say money, it could be the form of having credit or a loan for a house or a car. Like I told you, you want that credit and then you hate that credit. So it's your relationship to the credit that makes it good or bad, not the fact that you're burdened to some loan. I've dug myself out of a lot of debt. I had a lot of other stuff that I paid off over time, and it was humiliating and full of shame. And what I learned was there really wasn't any humiliation or shame in there. That was what I brought to the situation. So just to give you a little clue. Money we mean in the form of perceived value. Whatever you perceive as value. I love art. And so fine art, vintage cars, collectibles, fine china, jewelry, whatever. I had a lot of beautiful art. I had in the past. And money in the form of businesses. Maybe you own businesses or a part of a business or stock in a business or inventions or patents or information of value. Okay. So now, why is money karma poison to your money intuition? Because the mindset, because the first law of the universe is, or the Hermetic principle is the law of mentality. It's a mental universe. So if your money mindset is a lack mindset or a fear mindset or a fear of money mindset, then it's going to create the reality to keep you away from money. So the client that I told you about who discovered in a session that she went to this past life where she was wealthy and she experienced the whole thing. I didn't make this up and tell it to her. She experienced it. It's why it was so powerful and it completely changed everything. Since the age of 3, she had a fear of touching money. She created a life where she made a lot of money, but it went directly in the bank account and her husband controlled money and she didn't have even a credit card. And she had felt comfortable in that. However, now she was waking up and wanted a different job or a raise or to start a business or to have the freedom to use her own money. And she couldn't make any of that happen. Why? Because her money intuition was blocked. It was programmed and hardened into the thing. Money is evil. It equals killing. Do not touch it. Do not have it. And the fact that she was well educated and she made good money, she then, internally created a controlling partner, a way of the bank, the paycheck going directly into the bank account. So she didn't touch it. You see how this manifests in your life? And then when she came to me, she goes, I tried to start 3 businesses over the last year. It never works. I've interviewed at jobs. She gets awards where she is, but she never gets a raise. She's afraid to ask for a raise. All right. So you can see the pattern from this other life, this karma coming into this life. Clearly, she brought it intentionally to not create a life of suffering. But even though it maybe took her 35 years to have this breakthrough, she had that experience and she was able to now free herself and that other part of her soul and the other life of money fear. Okay. So we've inherited this on the planet. Lack, control, hard work, fear. What do you believe? I was told hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work. You're never good enough and you don't really deserve it. And you're not a part of the wealth club. That was energetic message that I embedded. So I would make a lot of money and then eventually, could be 3 years or 10 years, all of it would go away. Everything, all the way down to the core of you just don't have a friggin' penny anymore because of my energetic blueprint. Because the divine idea of money that I had was that I wasn't worthy of it, but I could get permission to enter the wealth club and to experience and live it for a while and to have it for a while, but I couldn't keep it because it wasn't mine. And eventually something outside of me would decide, you don't get to have that anymore. The economy crashed, the department stores didn't pay, or whatever other version of how it manifests into reality. Okay, so you have manifested a life of ease and grace or wealth or lack or poverty or struggle or feeling good enough or not good enough or all of the things in between, not because you're not good enough, you're stupid, you weren't rich enough, you didn't have the right education or anything else, because your soul's path was, I brought this shit into this life and we cannot take it forward. Let's complete it. So give yourself a break right now that you're going to say, I'm freeing myself from money karma in this life. And lots of other karma. What is karma? We're just talking about karma as the idea of cause and effect. The cause was another life that a client had. Was a life where she was extraordinarily wealthy. It was, I believe, somewhere in like Austria or Germany. I think it was in Austria, and she was older when we saw the life. She was I want to say a matron or a patron of the town, not officially. She didn't rule it. She didn't govern it. She didn't own it, but she was the benefactor of that town, and she loved that. I don't remember anything about, or if we even learned anything about her husband or why she had the money, but she was blissful. The people loved her and she loved them. She was a kind and generous woman who lived in a beautiful home and enjoyed her wealth. However, she was always in tune with the land. She wanted the land to prosper. She wanted everyone to feel cared about. So she would walk through town and she would talk to people. And her wealth was as much the people that she loved and how she was able to support them. She happened to be in a position where she had access to this power we call money, wealth, position, power. And she loved being able to use it for the greater good of all. She didn't feel guilty about having it. She didn't feel shame about having it. She had a beautiful life. She felt extremely loved and fulfilled. She didn't feel like anyone was out to get her. And she was living out really a fairy tale. She was creating the reality that her soul wanted to create in this life. And then it was interrupted. And this happens in most past lives. It was interrupted because the Nazis came in and they took everything. And the wealthy people, they took their houses. They asked them to join the armies. Being an older woman, she wasn't forced to do that. However, she buried her money. And she was never in that life able to go back and get it. However, my client in this life who was having this session was having all kinds of problems with feeling, wanting to help people, but never having the money to, wanting to help her kids, but she couldn't have her money to, and loving people, and just always struggling and feeling like someone had taken her money, feeling afraid for money to come to her, almost knowing, feeling like she was carrying this inner wealth treasure chest, but she was afraid for anybody to know about it because they would take it from her. They would come and be attacked. She didn't want anyone to know. She was afraid of being wealthy, and on and on. So this is how karma and other lives in our soul affect this life in a very, very real way. I love Joseph Murphy. I highly recommend his books. And these are some quotes from him. Money is a divine idea, a medium of exchange, a symbol of freedom and joyous living. You were born to be rich. Riches are all around you. Your security and happiness are the results of the wise use of the power and wisdom resident in your subconscious mind. So what is he saying? Does he say, you better go out, work really hard, never feel good enough, do what everyone else wants, and believe you're going to be poor your whole life? No. He said your security and your happiness come from your wise use of the power and wisdom that are already inside your subconscious mind. How do you tap into that? Intuition awakening. How do you unlock that power? Intuition awakening. How do you change your belief that money is evil to money is a divine idea, a symbol of freedom and joyous living? So I personally discovered my purpose through a lot of ups and downs. And I am a spiritual teacher, an awakener, a guide, a multidimensional healer. And through these decades and really my whole life of ups and downs and trying to please my family and being adopted and being given up and having money and not having money and successes and failures, I learned to speak up and get on stage and speak when I couldn't even get through speech class in high school. I built 9 different businesses, all of them money making, some not huge amounts of money. I made lots of money. I lost lots of money. I've had huge losses. My daughter died. I told you about my bankruptcy and my divorce. I was disowned by my family. We're back together. It's a beautiful, harmonious relationship, but it was an opportunity for me to completely shed the identity I had been taken on to be a part of that family. I no longer relate to them or any of their beliefs or attitudes or ways that they think from the guilty, never good enough little girl. I now have a relationship as an independent, beautiful spiritual being, and I only come together with those people, whether it's my family or it's clients, when we resonate on a spiritual, sacred level. So I was gifted with a huge breakdown, feeling abandoned, feeling the losses, and it forced me to go, what the hell else is out there? What is meditation? What is astral travel? Do dolphins come from another planet? What is a Pleiadian? What is a soul? Do we really reincarnate? I studied it all. I couldn't read enough. I studied with shamans. I traveled to Egypt several times. I studied mystery schools. I became a doctor of homeopathy, meditation, modalities, herbology, flower essences. You could probably name it. I've done it. And then I developed my spiritual gifts because I didn't know that, and I wasn't willing to believe I had gifts. You may be that place. I didn't believe I was good enough to see things like other people see. However, I started communicating with animals because I started taking care of animals because it was the only safe thing to do after my business closed, my fashion design business closed. I closed up, I left LA, and I went to New Mexico. And I was called there because it's a massive spiritual melting pot. But I didn't know that. I just felt wounded. I felt broken. I felt worthless. I had no value. I had no idea. And animals were my connection. And I started a pet sitting business, and I found Linda Tellington Jones, and I learned T-Touch, and I learned animal communication, and then I learned radionics, and I started healing animals all over the world with vibrational medicine. And then I started studying and seeing through the veils and astral travel, and I took Silver Method, and I started communicating with trees and plants and going into vortexes and tops of pyramids. And I started to realize that we live in this massive, abundant, rich world that we were taught and told was this limited little path of please everybody, follow everybody, pay your bills, go here on time, and judge the hell out of yourself if you didn't do it the way everybody else wanted. So I've been teaching and guiding and healing thousands of clients worldwide for 33 years. I've created so many online courses. A lot of them, like I said, are no good anymore because of the recording quality. Light Body Healing, Intuition Awakening, Bliss Life Retreats. We are doing a Dolphin Intuition Awakening Pyramid Retreat in March. And I want you to do this breakthrough with me. This class is the first of this MasterClass, so to speak, series, and I want you to take these concepts and this small process we're going to do here in a second to awaken you. I have so many clients that have shared so much, and I don't want to share what they say with you to say, ooh, look at me, I'm so great. I want to share with you because I want you to know what's possible, not because I told you it's possible, right? So benefits from Intuition Awakening and Infinite Self Mystery School with me. Genevieve, my beautiful friend and Akashic Light Reader. She's an official certified Akashic Light Reader now. And she said, awakening my intuition has had absolutely incredible benefits in every area of my life. I joined to learn, grow, remember, and find tools for my ethereal tool belt. And Akasha dives deeper and deeper and deeper in. You just keep going deeper and then again some more. Thank you, dear Fairy Godmother. You are such an incredible beacon of beautiful light. Thank you for inspiring me to look deeper. I want to inspire you to look deeper, to realize that the money's already here, the support's already here, the resources are already here. Maybe you're being inspired to look a different way, to let go of the way you used to do things, to free yourself from limiting beliefs about who you are. Look deeper. Since Intuition Awakening, I now have tools to assist with being the best version of myself, and I'm less affected by past emotions and others, and I'm able to be and see love. That's powerful. If you can see love, even when you don't have the money in your bank account, if you can trust that you know it will happen. I remember one day during my bankruptcy divorce, I had $100 or something in my bank account, and I needed, I don't know, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 in a week. It was a lot of money, and I manifested it. And I stared at the bank account, and all the thoughts of what am I going to do? And the fear was welling up in my stomach, and I was sweating, and I'm like, where am I going to get it? How am I going to do it? And then I realized that I was standing on the balcony outside my bedroom, looking out over this beautiful lake. And the bigger part of me was already off looking for solutions, while the small part of me started to go down the path of fear, but I had actually changed. So when you're less affected by your past emotions, when you're able to free yourself from that story that said, oh no, this is terrible, start feeling bad about yourself, you can see love everywhere. My Intuition Awakening experience has led me to a new life where I can feel and see and hear and touch and know more about me. I love you so much too, sweetie. So this is a Mayan pyramid nearby here. You see the little angels up there. When I came to the Mayan Riviera, everything had fallen apart. Everything fallen apart. And we were just going to start traveling the world. And suddenly I realized that I was exactly where my intuitive guidance wanted me to be. And I still live here, and I have a home on the beach, which has been my lifelong dream. And believe me, I have no concept how any of this abundance of my life happened from absolute nothingness. However, Just like you, my mystical nature awakening has accelerated the more I follow my heart, the follow my pure magic. I live on the beach. I live with these ancient pyramids all around me. I know Maya and Aztec friends. I do sacred ceremony with them. I bring you here to do that. I communicate daily with the dolphins and the spirits and the coconut trees and the goddesses and guides here. This is one of our cacao ceremonies in the chakra temple we're going to do again. And I combine all of this, okay? Pain and profit. I want you to do that. I want you to start saying, I shouldn't be afraid or ashamed of my pain. It's full of wisdom and experience. I want to combine all my pain and profit and my experience and my wisdom with my purpose. So intuition awakening helps you listen to your purpose and then free up the limits you've had on your life. So I want to activate, awaken, and empower you to reconnect to your inner authority, to your intuitive network, to rewire your mind, rewire your money fear to power. Money fear and power. You know, I've shown you these different ways today as to how it can go both ways. So wealth esteem is you feeling wealthy, you feeling worthy, you feeling naturally aligned, and you're not having judgments about yourself. I'm not good enough. I have to do this. I have to change that. You will change that. You will release this. You will become more of your truth. But you don't have to wait for that. I open doors to discover that your soul's rich purpose is fully funded, and I want you to know that. I want you to awaken your abundant and multi-dimensional nature together with me. Okay? So as you can tell, everything I've said today, that money is freedom. And it's not that you have to have money or you have to want money or you need to have a bunch of it in your bank account. In fact, true freedom is knowing that there'll always be what you need and you don't need to hoard the money and you don't wait and judge yourself based on how much money you have. I can tell you that I've had millions, that I've had hundreds of thousands, I've had nothing, I've had less than nothing, and I am happier now. And I don't have the most money I've ever had. I don't have the biggest this. I don't have all these guarantees in my life. But it's because I've walked this path to release this heavily emotional topic and traumatized soul wound in our planet that has freed me to say, wow, I'm happy, I'm wealthy, I'm rich, even when I don't know how this, that, or the other thing is going to happen. So remember, everything is energy. And if you like science, if you want to feed that other side of your mind, because we're talking energy and intuition, then you can just say energy is everything, and that's all there is to it. And the most famous scientist in the world, Albert Einstein, said, if you match the frequency of the reality you want, you cannot help but to get that reality. It can be no other way. It's not a philosophy, it's physics. And we do live in that reality in the 3D. So when you intuitively match the frequency of you and your future self that doesn't have fears and pains around money and doesn't judge it as unworthy and doesn't feel like you have to work hard for it and you're willing to receive it from any direction and you're willing to provide value for it, all of these intuitive flows come back together. Okay? So now, if you go from ease and flow and fun, and you release these other lives within you, the future fear ones or poor ones that you fear, the ones in the past that lost money, you're going to find that your fears of it's not possible to manifest what you want are going to significantly shift because you're going to understand why you have a particular fear. So Mike Dooley said, for better or worse, you cannot significantly change your life by manipulating the material world, by working harder, by studying longer, schmoozing, sweating, fasting, by the hair of your chinny chin chin. But change, great change, is inescapable when you first begin manipulating the world of your thoughts. And it's that simple. So the mindset and beliefs you hold around money are what we're going to go into. We're going into the intuition. We're going into the unknown karmic, current life, family, soul wounds, blocks that keep you from prosperity and can lead you to prosperity. The same fears you have, change the temperature, change the volume, shift where the focus is, and you move into being someone who is fully funded, you're trusting it, you're flowing through the ups and downs, and you're enjoying your life regardless of what you see with your physical eyes because you know that the universe is infinite. Okay, so I really want to invite you, if you're a spiritual seeker or light worker that still has some of those feelings like you're afraid to charge for your work, you're afraid to be a healer or to be an intuitive or be a psychic, welcome to what's happening right now. We're all waking up to the fear and the pain that has been put on intuition, poo-pooing it, saying it's stupid, saying it's child play, because that's how you were disempowered, telling you that you can't follow your dreams. And yet when we see somebody who bucked this, what everyone said, and they followed their dreams and they became a famous musician, and now we think they're fabulous. But in the meantime, nobody supported them. Nobody believed in them. All right. So please don't be somebody who refuses to think about your relationship to the idea of money, value, and worth. And please don't be somebody who is imprisoned by it either. This is your opportunity to mature spiritually and realize your infinite soul power and the responsibility to own it. You have a purpose. It is fully funded, and you have been gifted with the means to follow your soul's path if you stop denying and ignoring it. Okay, so let me share a couple of more stories with you, and we'll close up this first one here. The idea that you have lives that affect your relationship with money. So there are times when lives where you've been disowned or outcast, and that feeling of being betrayed or cut off. Then there's times when you were wealthy, but you were controlled. You were not free to live your life. There was a client that I had last year, I think, who was this gorgeous, beautiful girl in this big, elaborate, expensive dress and curls and hair, and looked like a France, like a palace in France. She was raised in this place. So she had power, she had money, she didn't have any connection to poverty, she had no clue about poverty. So the idea that your other lives can affect you only if they were poor or your money was taken or lost is not true. And what happened was she was so controlled by the money that she had no freedom. She was very happy as a child. She was very expressive. She was very intuitive. She was tolerated. She skipped and danced and talked to the bushes and the trees and played with the fairies. And she had this beautiful life. And then she reached the age, whatever that is for some, depending on the culture, where she was told she had to start to be responsible. She couldn't play those silly childhood games anymore. And all of her joy went away. And she was provided for, but inside of a structure. And that safety was a prison for her. And it killed her spirit. There are times when people were very wealthy and they were attacked. So like a lot of royalty were often attacked, like in France. And there was recently a past life that we saw that had, that was waiting in the castle with the king and queen as the castle was being stormed, and they knew that they were going to be killed, probably beheaded. And the whole life sort of flashing before the eyes of, do I deserve this? Did I manage my power and wealth well? And seeing both sides, really seeing that without realizing in that life, they had done very cruel things. They had not thought of people. And they had also done very generous and good things. And being in the space of, I don't think that I was a very good manager of money, so I'm not going to manage money again. And that might be coming up in this life. So the idea that your life as a future with billionaire, and maybe you saw this new movie called Glass Onion, and this tech billionaire, and it comes out at the, well, I probably shouldn't ruin it. Let's see. Well, there's this tech billionaire, and he's got it all, baby, but it all falls apart. Okay, because he didn't have spiritual riches. He didn't align. And if you have a business or a job, it's an entity, and you need to have an intuitive communication with it. And the universe has a plan to support it. But if you're over here going, I have to figure it out and I have to work hard and I don't know how to do it, and then you're not seeing the intuitive guidance, talk to this person, watch this infomercial. I've shared a lot. How I got into real estate was 7 nights in a row seeing a part of an infomercial, which I was taught do not buy, about real estate investing, which I'd never heard of, that I did buy, caused huge issues in my marriage for months, doubled my money within 2 months of what I'd spent, and did very well, eventually lost everything because of my divorce and bankruptcy. So the ideas are here, and they guide you on your path. I am so grateful I learned real estate investing. In fact, right now I'm starting to look for projects because I finished my own personal home renovation. And it taught me a lot spiritually, to speak up, to ask for what I want, to ask questions, to look for different ways to fund something, different ways to do something, find resources, find new resources, find better resources, learn to trust my intuition around a property, around a deal, around a person, about a money partner, around a contractor, around the day to do something. Okay, so you can see this is really deep, juicy stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. Hold it in your heart. See it expanding, expanding, and expanding. Let it go. Feel it just wash through you. Ask this breath to melt away any of the fear and tension that has been poked, raised, opened, revealed around this topic today, just to soothe it, soften it, and melt it. Now take a breath up your nose. Watch it. What color is it? Does it look like sparkles? Does it look like water? Let it bathe your third eye. Go all the way up to the crown. Let it go. And feel and sense it bathing, soaking, and infusing your brain, your crown, your third eye chakra, your pituitary, your pineal, your divine glance, the inner eye that connects you to the vision, to the crystals, to the way to bring yourself into alignment. Just allow it now. Sink in deeper and deeper. Receive. Relax. Now take one more deep breath in, but I want you to take it in through your hands. I want you to put your hands out and up as if someone is giving you. And I want you to open your heart. And before you take the breath, I want you to open your heart and say, I'm ready and willing and open and receptive to connect heart to my higher self and my soul's blueprint, to the infinite wealth and riches, to all of my powers and all of my past, future lives that are here to allow, complete, release, empower, and guide on my path of true soul mission, the path that is fully funded. I ask that my higher self open my heart and mind to this flow of the spirit of money, worthiness, and love that is already within me, that is already a part of my divine soul blueprint. Now, see and sense an opening. Is it an opening above you, behind you, within you? Starting to feel warmth on your palms. I'm open and receptive. I'm ready and willing. I clear and cleanse my clogs, blocks, and outdated beliefs. And I'm ready to be an excellent receiver. Your palms are tingling now. You feel an increase of energy through your hands as if something is tingling, crystallizing here. There's more and more light. Maybe there's new visions, words, entities, energies coming in. You know that you are receiving something rich, something juicy, something brilliant and vibrant, something very very beautiful for your soul. Feel the anticipation and the excitement. Yes, I'm ready and willing. Yes, I'm open. Yes, in this moment, I give great thanks for this clarity and connection. And I allow it to come in whatever way and begin to receive now. Whatever has been forming, building in your palms now pours down into your arms, elbows, shoulders, and heart, pouring from those lives in your soul, pouring from those future lives that hold the way, the path, the powers, the wisdom, the guidance. You now receive from your future abundant, wealthy, happy, soul-aligned self. And you now receive from the past that's whether ready to release the wounds, the fear, the lack, the hiding, the resistance, and be loved, to receive and feel safe. These two flows blend in your heart, creating a flow of infinity. I am the nexus of the above and below, the within and without, of my past and future, of my soul's potential. You feel this weaving in your heart. Now stillness encompasses you. You see and sense yourself like a child running in the field of abundance, chasing bubbles or balloons, butterflies or rainbows. You see and sense the pure inner part of you, worthy, receptive, open, everything beautiful, everything received, enjoyed, and appreciated. Frolic with her or him and embrace a new connection with clarity, love, acceptance, and harmony to this pure, wealthy, worthy, wondrous part of you. Accept her into your heart. Accept her into your life. Accept her into your mind. Accept this part of you. Let it enter and walk the halls of your mind, the depths of your emotion. Allow her to light your path through any perceived lack. Now breathe her in. Breathe him, her, this part of you, this essence, these qualities. Receive and expand, receive, expand. Now you feel this glowing sphere around you. Relax into this moment. Take your time to merge into this moment in your body. To accept and affirm and give great thanks for this connection, for this wisdom, for this knowledge, for this awakening and this shift. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am that I am. Money loves me. Money runs to me. Money stays with me. Money plays with me. Money opens doors. Money is my natural spiritual programmed power. Money is my friend. Together we're free. I accept that money is everywhere in every moment, that I am the alchemist, that I am the translator. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. So take your time, because that was kind of fast and deep. And I will see you tomorrow. Namaste. Ah.